I'm excited to have this guest on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline right now on 97.3 ESPN. He is the DraftKings Sportsbook Director, Johnny Avello, joining me as the NFL season. It's right around the corner, and if you haven't yet, there's a lot of opportunities to make some big money with some of the bets going on right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook app and DraftKings Sportsbook online. Johnny, how you doing on this Saturday?
Hey, Josh, I'm doing well. You know, we've got through a couple of weeks of the NFL preseason. College football is among us today with two major games and a couple of lower-level games. And next week, another, we start the full slate of college football. So I'm excited. I know the bettors are excited, and football is king.
Well, we can't overlook the one they call the no-brainer boost you guys have going on. This is probably one of the easiest bets anyone will ever make. If they don't make it, they're a fool. It's basically free money. It's if the Jets, Giants, or Eagles score a touchdown in week 1 at plus 100. And that's just one of the many examples that you guys have with the DraftKings Sportsbook of opportunities for people to make money in ways that are unique.
Well, what we do, Josh, is that we have an app that I feel is probably the best. When I say app, and the phone app where you have the opportunity to go on and make your wagers right there without having to go into a bricks and mortars location. And I think we have the finest out there. And we also have a great crew who comes up with these promotions every day. And once a customer is playing with us, we like to give something back. So this is one of those where like you said, there's not a whole lot of thought to it, is there? It's pretty much free money, and during the season, we're not only going to continue to do this, but even before the season starts, we have a couple promotions where if you put $500 in, you get a piece of that back to start with, and then as the season goes on, you continue to bet. We continue to keep giving you more back. So and more promotions to come, like I said. So we're all about having good content and giving great customer service.
When you look at the NFL season, I'm excited. I know you're excited. Everyone can't wait. The preseason is kind of just ask with you. Is there a specific futures odd or bet going on right now that you look at and you're like, that almost like gets you even more excited for the upcoming NFL season?
Well, you're probably asking the wrong guy that, Josh, because, since I'm an odds maker, I feel that everything I have is kind of priced adequately. Now, that's for the bet. The bettor could probably answer that question better for you and say, yeah, like the Steelers at 20-1, I think that's terrific value. Packers at 22-1, I think that's great value. Atlanta at 30-1. So I do think that there is some value out there for the players, but I think the player or bettor himself will be probably a better person to ask if he's excited about those odds. I'm excited about making them, and when I put them up, I'm excited about the bettors actually betting them.
You say you're excited about making them. Talking to the audience a little bit about what goes into setting the odds, whether it's futures, over-unders. Like, give us an idea of what the process is.
Okay, so for futures, you take your teams from top to bottom, as we feel they are, top to bottom, best to worst. And then after we have that laid out, then we use a mathematical formula to rate them and put odds with them so that the house has a little bit of a hold advantage. And what a hold advantage is if you bet all those teams to win the same amount, the house would hold a percentage, and that percentage is usually in that 15 to 20% range on futures. For games themselves, we assign teams power ratings. I'll give you, for instance, maybe Alabama is a 95, 96 rating to start the season, and a team like LSU might be an 88 or 89 to start the season. So that's 7 points right there before we go into any other things that could affect the line, whether it be home field advantage, some kind of intangibles, coaching, motivation from last year. A team should have won a game and didn't, and they have everybody coming back, so they should be competitive. So those are the things that go into the thought process of making a line. The totals, it's all about scoring. How many points can each individual team score? That's also based on a rating on total points. So, that's kind of like the quick version of it. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's a good starting point for your listeners to know how to do it.
Johnny Avello joining us on the Boardwalk on the hotline on 97.3 ESPN, the director of the DraftKings Sportsbook. Johnny, you've been around the Vegas sportsbooks for a long time, and now with New Jersey, it being legalized here, we've seen an explosion in sports betting here in the Northeast. From your perspective, what you've seen in Vegas, give the audience a little bit of perspective as someone who's seen what's going on in Vegas with the sports books of what you've been seeing with the explosion here in New Jersey.
Well, New Jersey actually had a bigger handle in May. I think it was May or June. I forgot which month it was, but a bigger handle than Nevada did. And so that just goes to show you right there that they're catching up. And I knew they would catch up. I didn't think it would be this quickly, but the New Jersey bettors have embraced sports betting. And I think the reason they've embraced it is because it's easy. I mean, if you're in the boundaries of New Jersey, you download the mobile app, you fund it, you give some information, and you're ready to go. So I just think how easy it is to get on. That's why it's caught on and been so popular. Now, for us, DraftKings, we have been expanding, of course. We opened up a book in Mississippi, so we are in Mississippi. We opened up our first sports book in New York yesterday. It's in a place called Del Lago. Now, they don't have the mobile app. They just have what it's called retail or point of sale, where you have to go into the location to make the wager. But we're continuously expanding around the country, and we're going to be probably in every state that's going to have us.
Yeah, and you mentioned the app. We have that here in New Jersey. And I can test this. I've been using the app since you guys first launched it back last August, and it really is the easiest app to use. It's user-friendly. You guys have great opportunities for people to make money with the boosts. And like you mentioned, the more people bet, the more they can get chances to win money back. I think the way you guys are doing it is the best way, which is you guys are not just putting out odds and numbers, but you're also investing in your customer that's actually investing their money into your book and your app.
Yes. And we want to reward those customers for doing that. We appreciate them doing that. And so not only do we feel we have the best app, but we're not just standing there and saying, okay, that's good, and let's just let people sign up and we'll leave it as it is. Don't touch it. Don't touch if it's not broken. That's not the way we operate. We're continuously looking for new ideas, new ways, new technology to make it even better. So if you haven't been on a DraftKings app, I would suggest that you, regardless if you're in New Jersey or you're in Hawaii, you can download the app or go on the internet and look at the content that we have and of course you can't make a bet unless you're in those boundaries of New Jersey, but at least you could see the kind of content that we're putting out there. I'm just so excited to work for this company. I really am. I mean, we got a team of about 900, 1,000 people that have just put their heart and soul into everything they do every day. And we're excited to just offer what we have to the sports betting public.
Yeah, in the upcoming NFL season, aside from the odds boosts and the lines you guys put out there, I know a lot of people, Johnny, they are on the app, in-game betting before the game. And, for us in this area, we're Eagles NFC East country, and there's a lot of people that are looking at the Eagles. They could potentially win the Super Bowl. At the New York location you guys opened, Donovan McNabb, he dropped $100 on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. There's a lot of people who have a lot of belief in this Eagle team, not just to win this division, but make a deep run.
I really think they can. A lot has to happen during the season for you to win it all. And I don't know if teams will look at it as unsuccessful season if they don't win it all, because you want to stay perfect on the key injuries. Guys get hurt during the season. That sets you back a few games. Sometimes it sets you back for the rest of the year. You take a team like the Eagles, where Wentz had to play behind Foles at the end of the year. He's the starter. He gets hurt. He comes back. He's ready to go, but he doesn't get back into the starting lineup. Foles takes him the entire distance to win the Super Bowl. And last year he went deep. Now this year, Wentz is the man. He's got to get it done. And when I look at the personnel on this team, when I look at their wide receivers, when I look at their running backs, when I look at their defensive backs and line, I mean, this team really has all the components to get the job done. And so I think they'll have a successful year. They're favored to win the East. But things still have to fall right for you. So yeah, I hope out there that the Eagle fans have a successful year, and I hope they stay injury free. And then so that's kind of the key to get it all done.
And right now the Eagles are minus 125 to win the division, plus 500 to win the NFC, the conference. Johnny, before I let you go, I did have a specific, odds-making question I wanted to ask you. That someone was asking it yesterday. When the news came out about Bryce Harper going on paternity leave, the line basically didn't change at all for the Phillies as betting odds. And I wanted to know from you, as an odds maker, how do you determine what players are more valuable in their impact on a football line or an over/under? Or who's the favorite, who's not? Like, do you have a value system on the players as well? Because you mentioned you have a value system on the team. Is there also a value system on the players as well?
Well, there is, and the key cogs, so to speak, that will influence the line. And in football, it's always the quarterback. I mean, if a Tom Brady's out, I can remember an instance when he was worth about 10 points in a game. And there was, Aaron Rodgers, another guy. In baseball, since there are 9 players on the field, and you can plug in a player, maybe not to give the full impact of a Bryce Harper, but somebody who could, be respectable and get you a hit or two, it's not going to change the line that much. Maybe a couple of cents, and in baseball we do use cents. We don't. It's not like football. We move the spread, the point spread. We move the money in baseball. So what's Bryce Harper worth in a game at this time of the year? Not more than 2-3 cents, and so that's the only adjustment you would see. But as you get into basketball, it only has 5 players. Of course, a key player is going to make a bigger impact. But on a baseball team, starting pitchers is what the line is predicated on. So starting pitchers is where the actual opening line starts.
He is Johnny Avello, the DraftKings Sportsbook Director. Again, the DraftKings Sportsbook app and the DraftKings Sportsbook online at DraftKings.com. Johnny, really appreciate your time here on a Saturday. And before I let you go, I'd be remiss to not mention my 97.3 ESPN colleague, Tony Bruno, wanted me to wish you well. He's our pregame countdown to kickoff host Monday, Thursday, and Sundays for the football season. So he wanted me to wish you well as well.
What a great guy. I mean, I've had so much fun with Tony through the years. Great radio personality. And return that to him for me, would you, Josh? Thank you.
Absolutely. Johnny, have a great weekend and hope you get to enjoy the college football today.
Thanks a lot. Happy football season, everyone.